Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Alliance Group podcast, and we have a very special episode today. We have Mr. Doug Kim all the way out from California, Buena Park, California, and Doug is the principal of a big agency out there, KBP, which stands for Key Benefits and Planning. Correct, Doug?
Correct.
Welcome to the office. Welcome to the podcast room.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm always happy to be here. See you guys.
Yeah, we're always happy for Doug to be here as well because he always brings delicious treats with him. Some of them exotic treats that we've never tried before. I don't think he's ever showed up to the office empty-handed. And this morning it was a delicious mocha roll cake thing, and it was unbelievable. And definitely got my sugar in for the morning. So thank you for that.
Start.
A good start. So we were talking about your agency out there in California, KBP, which stands for Key Benefits and Planning. You guys do obviously you do a good amount of life insurance with us at Alliance Group, but you also work with different products as well. So what are some other things that people can get from your agency as far as services go?
Our major production comes from life insurance. Mm-hmm. And we also start doing a lot more annuities than maybe 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of annuity business.
A lot of annuity business. Mm-hmm. Especially with a lot of the flow businesses, the flexible premium businesses for qualified plans. We also do a lot of the 1035 exchange or transfer from the qualified plans.
Yep.
And we do also long-term care business. And long-term care business was premature for the Korean market, but we started seeing more interest in the long-term care, the benefits and solutions for their retirement protections.
Across the board, I think long-term care is a pretty hot topic right now.
It is, the aging America. So also we start doing the more disability income business because we have an agent who does a lot of business with the veterinarians and doctors and dentists. Mm-hmm. So we mainly do life, annuity, long-term care, disability insurances. We don't do PNCs, we don't do medical insurances or Medicare businesses. I try to focus on what we know the best, what we do the best.
Yeah. So you and one of the things you do the best is you mentioned that annuities. I think you've done more annuities business the past couple of years than anybody in Alliance Group. How are your agents coming across the opportunities to talk to clients about annuities? Is this something that you're talking about with your current clients, or are you guys out there kind of marketing it and getting interest that way?
And first of all, a lot of agents are not comfortable doing annuity business because they're not educated,
right?
And they don't know what it is and where to find the clients. But we do a lot of the annuity educations, especially in the qualified markets. At this time in California, they have the government program that require by employers have more than 5 employees must have the plan available for their employees.
Right, yeah.
Cal Savers.
Mm-hmm. Cal Savers program.
Yep. Yeah. So that becomes the hot topics for all the small business owners, and they gave us a chance to talk to them more about the qualified businesses. We also tell our agents to connect with their CPAs because during the tax season from January to the April, a lot of people need to get an IRA, Roth IRAs, SEB IRAs, some sort of the qualified plans for their retirement and tax purpose. So we try to work with the CPAs and we educate them working with the CPAs and try to take advantage of the CalSaver situation.
Yep.
And we also talk about the rollovers and transfers during the fact-finding process.
Right.
Even the life sales. At the end of the conversation, we always talk about if they have the existing qualified plan somewhere, they didn't think about moving over to an IRA. We also talk about the money sitting in the bank, not earning much.
Yep.
And so we start doing more MIGA business lately because the interest rate.
Yep, I know National Life has that great...
5.25% right now.
Yeah, I think it actually just moved up to 5.5 earlier this week, correct?
I thought 5.25 was the day move up yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay. Yeah, you're right. It went from 5.15 to 5.25.
Yeah. one of the highest in the market right now.
It's an excellent product. It's one that's getting a lot of play right now, and rightfully so. And National Life would love me to remind you all, the producers watching, that they have a great bonus program, with that product right now as well. Annuities, a really hot topic, and it sounds like your agents and yourself are doing just a really good job at talking about those options to your clients.
The key to the annuity business is ask the questions. You got to ask.
Yep.
You got to ask.
And that's, that's not just annuities, it's life insurance as well. It's any product that you're out there selling, right? I mean, if you want your clients to be interested in a product, you have to offer it to them. You have to talk to them about it. Right. And you guys are doing an excellent job of that in the annuity business. And what a lot of agents find is that if they you kind of referred to this earlier, agents they don't feel comfortable with annuities because they're not educated, so they don't talk about it. But there is education out there. National Life does webinars. We've done several in the past that can help agents get comfortable enough to have that conversation. Sure. And sometimes the lowest hanging fruit is just make sure that your clients are aware that the product is out there and how it helps them. They might be very, interested in getting it put in place. So.
Also, you have to remind them every time because they're so busy with your normal stuff they do every day, and then sometimes they forget about it.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So going back a little bit, how did you get into the insurance industry?
I mean, no one has an intention going into industry except a few people I ever met in the business.
You didn't grow up saying, I want to be an insurance agent?
No. Actually, I was on the other side of the desks because I was in the operations manager for the company before I get into the insurance business.
Really?
So I was talking to a lot of insurance agents coming to my company, providing me the group plans and medical insurance and dental insurances. And I was always wondering what they do.
Right.
But they didn't really talk too much about it. But
of course.
I got into insurance business coming from totally different industry. Yeah, I got
What was that industry?
Yeah. After my master's program, and I went into the working with the company who makes a lot of the consumer electronic products, TVs and appliances. That was my first job in California back in early 1990s.
Early 90s.
Yeah, 90s. And I worked there for a while, and I got into the software industry. I'm not a software engineer. I'm not an engineer. I'm a marketing degree, my marketing background. But I worked for the software industry for a while, and then the company had some issues, and they had to close the door. So I had to leave, and I was thinking myself, I'm not going to be working for anybody else because no matter how that company is good, your life depends on the management decisions, their directions. So I said, I want to go into my own business. So I was sitting at home one day, and I was reading the newspaper. There was an ad looking for financial professionals from New York Life.
From New York Life?
Yeah. So I didn't even know I'm selling insurance product at that time. It says financial professionals. So,
right.
I got a business degree, so I said, why don't I try work with them? So I got in, and that's why I got into insurance business.
Wow. So that was back in the early 90s you got with New York Life, and then...
Actually 2000.
2000, okay.
2000, yeah,
and then
2000.
When did you break off and start your own MGA with KBP?
I started doing that from 2003.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's funny. I always like to ask that question because it's fascinating to see the different paths that people take to arrive in this awesome industry that we're in.
It's not for everybody, but it worth to try.
Yep.
If it fits you, then it's the best industry to be in.
And almost everybody says, just like you did, I never saw myself in life insurance. It just kind of found myself there. I could say the same. I think everybody in this office could say the same. So we're all lucky to be here.
I know.
I think it's a fantastic industry. So what do you love most about your job, Doug?
The most I love about my job is this job taught me how to live, what the life is about, and how to deal with other people. When you're working for one industry, the whole world is just around you. Right? But coming into insurance business taught me a lot of different things, which I didn't know about, especially about the life.
Yeah, so tell me about that. What What have you learned about how to live?
How do I live? Okay, I mean, you do the same thing. I get you feel the same way. You get to meet so many different people.
Yeah.
Which I didn't have before.
Right.
And it taught me different. I mean, life insurance and financial planning business is not. I never consider myself a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
This is educating business.
Yep.
This is farming.
Yep.
Right. So whenever I talk to the people about their concerns and solutions, and through that experience, I learned things that I didn't know about. I didn't never experience myself. So I was able to understand other people better than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before then, I was thinking why he's doing such a thing and try to find the solutions. But coming into this business, I tried to share more feelings and emotions, their experience more than just trying to find the solutions and making judgment.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing I ever learned in this business. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
And
always learning.
Always learning. Yeah. That's what we call continuing education, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's about connecting with people and about, not about, like you're saying, you should stop doing that and you should do this instead.
Right.
But trying to understand where they're coming from, who they are, and try to kind of put yourself in their shoes, and then kind of guide them, educate them.
To making the right decision. I cannot make the decision for them.
Absolutely.
But I can help them make a right decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome. What does here's another question, especially putting together these questions. This is one that I was really looking forward to asking you. What does success mean to Doug Kim?
Success mean to me is get up in the morning, get excited going to the work, meaning that do things I like to do every day. Mm-hmm. That's my success.
Do things that you like to do every day.
I do. That's why I'm here today.
All right.
I wouldn't be here to take 4 or 5 hours and get on the plane and come out here.
Yeah.
Having this conversation with you today.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's wonderful to have you here. So, this kind of leads right into this. You are, I don't mean to embarrass you, but you are literally maybe the nicest person I've ever met. You're always smiling. You're always so kind. You always, I don't know. You just bring this awesome, positive aura into the room, and everybody's happier now that Doug Kim's here, and you're always bringing gifts, and you're just a very positive presence. And I wonder, is that something that you work at doing? Is it just something that you've always been that way and you just were born that way? Is it something that you have to put effort into reminding yourself to do? Tell me about this.
Okay.
It might be hard for you to talk about, but is this something that comes naturally? Is it a philosophy that you try to follow?
I mean, I never thought about this until you asked me these questions, but now I'm thinking and looking back.
Well, it's just so genuine,
I think this comes from the growing up, because my parents are very giving people. Mm-hmm. They still do. I mean, they're in the 80s right now, but they still, especially my mother, and I grew up watching what my mother does to other people, and to me, it's comes naturally because of their growing up experience.
Yes. Your mom was your role model.
But they never told me what to do. But sure. I mean, the best parenting is just watching your parents.
They model the baby.
They model the baby, right? Yeah. So I guess basically coming from their foundation. Mm-hmm. And again, this is one of my philosophy too. I mean, you gotta help other people to help your success. Yep. Because especially in our business, without having successful agent, there's no KBP.
Yeah, that's very true.
Right?
That's very true.
Yeah. I guess it was coming from that foundation.
It's there's a saying, right? It's you help other people get what they want, and that's how you will get what you want. I mean, we have to help other people, especially in this business, and that goes for clients. It also goes for agents that you're bringing into the industry. You have to help them reach success. I
mean, that's why I'm working with you guys. You guys are doing the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Together is better.
Together we're better.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, Doug. All right. So, do you have it's another question I like to ask our top producers, and sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. Do you have some sort of daily routine that you follow, that you wake up every morning and you do this and you do this and you do this?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit?
Yeah,
about
because
it?
my body moves by the routine. Yeah. I mean, my children are now grown up. They are one in college, one out working in East Coast. But when they're in high school, and they went to school about 25 miles from our house in different counties. So I have to get up in the morning every day, like at 5:30, get up and then get ready. And
Ooh, that's early.
yeah, especially traffic in California.
Oh,
You gotta be ready because they have to be in school by 8 a.m. So that was one of the things that I got so used to get up in the morning, early in the morning.
Right.
Even before that, I normally get up early in the morning. I don't know why, but that's how I've been for the whole time. So I get up 5:30 in the morning and start, doing things that I have to do for the day. And I always make the note what I need to-do list for the next day and try to finish things the same day. But things doesn't get done on the day, then I try to do the next day. So I get up at 5:30 in the morning. And when my children was in high school, I really leave home at 6:30. But now they're not in high school. I leave home on 7:30 these days. And it takes about 40 minutes to get to work.
Yeah.
And get to work around 8:30 in the morning. Sit down and,
Do you have a strategy for attacking your day? Do you have I do these things in the morning, I do these things in the evening? Is
I have
a
small note. It's not a
sure.
Small note.
Do you do it on your phone or you do?
I do both.
Physical list.
I do both.
Me too.
Yeah, I do both just to make sure there's no the mistakes or the things that I don't miss.
Exactly.
So I do both, and I try to make phone calls and things needed to get done in the morning.
Yeah.
And in the afternoon, I try to call the agents, see how they do, and
checking in with
agents, and if they have an appointment they want to go with me, bring their customers in, then I do in the afternoon, and I leave my office around 6:30, sometimes 7. And some days I have the meetings that I have to attend, so stay a little longer. But that's my routine.
Yeah. Do you we get a lot of different answers to this question. What drives you? Some people are motivated by different things. Some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by leaving a legacy. Some people are motivated by building something. If I were to ask you what drives you, what would your answer be?
Okay, what drives me is the successful people around me. I mean, I teach all different levels of agent. I don't work with the only successful agent. I work with someone who doesn't even have a license but want to come into the business.
Right.
I teach them how to get a license. So I work with from level A to level Z agent, right?
Sure.
So whenever I see successful agent become more successful, and when the new agent try to get into their business and they try to learn things, and I get excited by the agent who asked me the questions that I taught them before.
Right.
Now they're going back to the field, practice that things they learned from us, and got a question back from the clients coming back to me with the questions. Those things are really excite me.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just numbers, the attitude, and their motivations. That's what excites me. I'm always telling my agents and even myself that financial reward comes from doing the right thing. Right?
Yep. Absolutely. Do the right thing, and the rest will follow. Yeah. So it sounds like what really excites you is developing people.
Yeah, developing people.
That's it's a very common answer that we get from our leaders. I've asked the same question of Rickson and Bianca and Gustavo and Marina Cotto and Mike Wilk. That is what excites them. It's bringing someone in and watching them grow and watching them find success and watching them develop as a person and as a professional. It's really an amazing part of leadership to be able to watch that. So we're getting into the rapid fire questions, Doug. So these are just quick questions. You're supposed to answer them fast. This is kind of a little fun segment that we do to learn a little bit more about Doug Kim. And so I'm going to ask these. I think I already know the answer to the first question, but we're going to ask it anyway. Doug Kim, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person.
Morning person, 100% sure. You were mentioning earlier, what does it say? Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. I think Doug definitely subscribes to that idea. All right. So what advice would you give your youngest self?
Youngest self.
Yeah, your younger self. If you could go back in time and say, hey, man, let me tell you a secret. What advice would you give yourself?
Focus on what you're good at it and stay in the business or stay in what you do, what you're good at it.
Focus on what you're good at.
Yeah.
I love that.
But trying to find out what you're good at takes time.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It took me 35 years to find that out.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So I got into business when I was 35 years old.
35 years old is when you got into
business.
Okay.
The insurance business. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. See, it's never too late. Was there something recently about I found out what Colonel Sanders didn't invent Kentucky Fried Chicken until he was 60 years old, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that's always it's never too late. Whether you're Doug Kim at 35 starting in the life industry or Colonel Sanders at 60 with KFC. All right. So any phobias?
Any phobias? I don't think I have any phobias.
Yeah, I was about to say, usually it jumps right out of people's mouths. Like, oh, yeah, I know what my phobia is.
No, I do not.
I know Josh's is flying now.
Seriously.
Long story. Well, no, he was him and Travis were on a plane to L.A., that plane that had to land in Albuquerque a couple of days ago. I don't know if you heard about that. They had an engine go out.
Oh,
so
okay. Josh
is a little bit of a nervous flyer now. So no phobias for Doug Kim. What was your favorite subject in school?
I like the history.
History.
Yeah, I like the history.
What was your least favorite subject in school?
Say physics.
Physics?
Physics and chemistry.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. and chemistry as well.
I'm not in that side of the person.
Yeah. So this is a little deep question. What would you change about yourself?
Change myself. God, that's a difficult question.
It's a deep one, isn't it?
It is.
Everyone kind of gets stumped by this. Ooh,
wow.
It goes deep. You got to lay down on my couch. Get all in your feelings.
I mean, I'm right in the middle somewhere in the lifespan here, but when I get older and when I run into the time that I have to leave my families, I don't want to say I work too much. Because I try to making balance.
Yep.
In my
more
life.
Work-life balance.
Yeah, because I worked a lot since the school, even coming into insurance business. But now thinking more and more, I want to do not just working hard, working right,
working smart. Yeah.
And try to make more balance because
well, you've kind of reached this phase in your career, which is great as a builder, as someone who's building people. You do reach a stage in your career where you can maybe turn some of the hard work that you're doing over to the people that you have developed, right? And you've kind of earned that right to kind of step back a little bit and get a little more of that of that life balance. Yeah. I think a lot of our MGAs are. That have been with Alliance Group, 10, 15, 20 years, they are kind of reaching that next phase. I imagine it must be hard when you've worked so hard to build something. It must be very hard to kind of take your hands off the reins a little bit. But it sounds like you're making those efforts, and I think that's a great thing. Yeah. Work-life balance is something that everybody struggles with. I think, especially these days.
I have the picture of the bicycle in my office and at home. The bicycle reminds me a lot. Bicycle teaches me a lot of things.
Bicycles?
Yeah, bicycle.
Yeah.
Balancing
Yeah.
and pedaling. I mean, when you get tired, you can pedal a little less. But once you stop pedaling, you fall.
The bike falls over.
Right. So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Plus, I never thought that I built this. I mean, I always have the helping hands with me every moment.
Of course.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Doug, it's so great to visit with you, and thank you so much for coming in and sitting down and doing this with us, letting us learn a little bit more about you and about KBP as well. I really appreciate your time.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Talk to you. Sure. It's just I'm just going to ask you like to tell me about Alliance Group and um just saying nice things about us basically. how we've helped the partnership, things like that.
Has anybody say bad thing about you?
Oh
guys?
yeah, you'd be surprised, man.
Really?
Like, oh no, I'm just kidding.
You don't invite those people, though.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we were like, you're not invited back anymore.
Yeah.
So, Doug, you've been with Alliance Group for how long?
What, 6 years now?
6 years.
6 years. 7
Man,
years.
time flies.
Yeah.
Time flies. So, we've obviously had some 6 years together. What do you get from your relationship with Alliance Group? How do you benefit?
You guys, the people, friends, families. That's the benefit. The most benefit. I don't say even benefit. Those are the things that I'm very comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that I've been looking in the business. I mean, we have a lot of nice people out there and nice business relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But business relations can go sour, go in different direction, depends on the situation. But friendships doesn't go that direction.
Right.
That's what I've been looking for. And you guys giving me and gave me that relationship and experience that I've been looking for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very nice of you, Doug. I think that's it. I think we got it. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks, man.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate you, Doug. I appreciate you, man. That was fun. So what's on your schedule for the rest of your trip here?
I have to